When I started, I can barely do 100 push-ups, but by the time I got out, I was doing 2,000 push-ups. It wasn't all about working out, it was about discipline. Now, I have to take you all the way back from the very beginning to talk about this, okay? Now, when I first got locked up, I was housed in LA County Jail. And in LA County Jail, all the homies, what they taught me was burpees. Okay, that's all I knew. I didn't know about fitness. I didn't know about working out. I didn't know about anything. I didn't know about protein and carbs and all this stuff. You know, that came later in my life. That literally just came like a few years ago. Okay, but when I first got locked up, all the homies they just kept busting down burpees. That's all we freaking did. All right, and it wasn't until I got transferred over into Wayside that I started doing push-ups. Now, Wayside is just another LA County jail. It's another branch, another like facility complex that houses inmates. All right, and that area is like located north, about 20-30 minutes away from downtown. The closest area I can think of, so you have a good reference point, is Six Flags Magic Mountain. Now, it's probably around the corner from there, but that's like a good point where you can know where this place is located. I remember so vividly the first time I did push-ups, and I only did 100. But the reason why I remember it so much because the next day my chest was freaking sore. It was so sore. I had a hard time sleeping the very next day. All right. Now, it could have been a number of things. It could have been like I didn't have a post workout meal. You know, you don't eat after you work out. Your recovery process just goes to trash. Okay, it just crashes. Now, I didn't know any of that stuff. Honestly, a lot of these things just came recently, the last couple years in my life, and I'm 41 now. All right. But I remember when I first got locked up at 21, I remember doing 100. It was sets of like 20s. I can barely like touch 20, and I don't know if I did like 5 sets of 20s. I probably didn't from what I remember because I was weak. I was out of shape. I was really heavy, and I remember 100 though was the goal. That was like what I had in my mind to set out to do, and I ended up doing it. But I definitely paid the price the next day. And every day I just freaking program fighting my case. You know, I'll go to court every like 4 to 6 weeks or something like that, and all they would do is just push it back. They would just push it back, and eventually, you know, I got sentenced. I ended up catching the chains, going to prison. But it wasn't until prison was when I really kicked things up. But the reason why it wasn't until prison where I really got into like working out and I was able to have like a really good program is because when you're in jail, all right, compared to prison, in jail they constantly like transfer you. You might be in one dorm the next day, and like 2 3 days later, boom, you're back in Twin Towers in LA County Jail in a jail cell, and then like 3 4 days later, boom, you're in a freaking dorm again, and they constantly like transfer you around just so you don't understand, like, so you're just, if you're trying to do like gang activity, it's always broken up. They never want to stay like have you complacent. So when you're in prison, you're typically in one place. That's like your, I guess in some sense, permanent house, you know, and that's where you do remaining of your time, and that's where you're gonna stay at for majority of your like your sentence when you get sentenced to prison. Okay, so here's the thing. When I first got to prison, like, prison's healthcare system is really good. And when you first get in there, they draw your blood. You're constantly getting like your blood drawn, okay, every time you get transferred to a new prison. And when I first got locked up, and when I first went to prison, I ended up finding out I was pre-diabetic, man. I was so fat and out of shape that the nurse was like, yo, you need to work out, dog. Like, you need to lose some weight. All right, I'm only 5'4", okay? 5'4", and typically in a healthy weight for me with my bone density, you can see I'm not like thick boned or anything like that. I have small bones, you can see it. I don't have like good genes or good genetics or anything. But a healthy weight for me at my height should be roughly around like 135, 140 pounds. But I was close to 190. That's how out of shape I was, man. Even in jail, I was like working out, but I was just eating everything and anything I could, man. I didn't know any better. All right, like, yes, I didn't drink any of the juice or I didn't eat any of like the cookies or anything, but I ate, you know, the peanut butter. I ate a lot of the fruits, not knowing fruits is just sugar, I didn't really know about these things, and then I end up going to prison. Boom, bro, you're pre-diabetic. That's when I really kicked it up a notch, man. And eventually I got to a point where I was doing 2,000 push-ups. Now in prison, we would do sets of push-ups. All right, I was doing sets of push-ups. I, and this is where I learned this thing where in prison you get like a deck of cards. Okay, you get a deck of cards, and every time you do one set, you'll grab one card and you place it on the other side. So this is a big old deck. You grab one card, boom, that's one set. Every time you do another set, you grab it and you put it on the other side. That's set number two. And eventually I worked my way up all the way to 2,000 push-ups, and by the time I was done, a puddle of sweat, man. And I remember it would take me roughly about an hour and a half. I would take 60-second breaks. By the time 60 seconds was about to be up, at the 60-second mark, I'm already busting down doing my next set. Sets of 50s, all the way to 2,000. I'm telling you, I was a freaking animal, man. But when it comes to discipline, you will hear that so often. And honestly, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know about discipline. I didn't know about the term. All I knew is I just needed to program because I needed to stay healthy. I needed to get into shape. I needed to lose weight, man. And that's what forced me to, was hearing that come out from the nurses, like mouth saying like, yo, you need to lose weight. If you don't lose weight, you can become diabetic and you're going to be on medication for the rest of your life at such a young age. I wasn't even freaking like 30. I was in my 20s when I got locked up, man. You know what I mean? I was 21. Like, how crazy is that, bro? At 21, pre-diabetic. Yeah, that scared me straight, man. And even to this day, even after I got home, I still program and I still carry that same mentality of programming every single day. Like, I'm 41 now. And I think at 41, I'm in pretty decent shape. I may not look the best. I may not be the strongest. But my mindset is there. No matter what's going on, I still bust down. I still go to the gym. No matter how little sleep I get, no matter what's going on in my life, I always bust down, man. And I think that was like one of the biggest lessons I learned in prison, during my time. And I think that's something you can take away. If there's anything you could take away in this video, it's just no matter what's going on in your life, man, you're gonna be going through a hard time. You'll be going through great times. Like, always program. And for those that don't know what program means, it's just do your daily like tasks, your daily routine, no matter what's going on. Like, you can have a loss of love, or you can have a loss like in your life, but life eventually goes on. Like, imagine if you were, I know if I were to go away and the people around me in my life, they would mourn me, but eventually at some point they're gonna forget me and they're gonna move on. It's just the way life is, baby. So I always say it, man, just do you, do what's gonna be in your best interest, and you can never go wrong if you can master the mundane, bro. I'm telling you, dog. Like, just if you can program every single day, and if that means finding a partner, finding a homie to go with you, to motivate you, do it. Do whatever it takes, man. And that's the one takeaway I would suggest you guys learn and master. You'll hear everyone is a fitness guru and everyone knows how to work out because the barrier to entry is so low. But I will say, all the years of people going to the gym, they still look like trash. And I always say this about like what college students. I'm back in school now. I guarantee you, the people that are watching this, if you're a freshman, there's a good chance, like 9 out of 10 people, like, you might be one of those people. By the time you graduate college in 4 or 5 years, you might look worse off than when you first started, because you don't know how to program, you don't know how to stay disciplined and do the stuff that you need to do every single day. By the time you graduate, you're gonna say, yeah, I hit the gym on campus and I was working out, and you're just gonna look worse off, man. And you're gonna let this 41-year-old pass you up? That's pitiful, homie. I hope that's not the case. I hope you can look better than me. I hope you can outshine my ass. That's how it should be, man. The younger generation should be better than the future, the generation that was before them. They should always be better. So yeah, man. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about me. And just keep in mind, man, you ain't gotta lose everything like I did to learn this lesson. You ain't gotta go to prison, man. You have the free will to do whatever you want in this world. And you're on the other side of the freaking fences, man, the electric fences. People always talk about bars and jail cells, but actually when you go to prison, it's electrified fences. When you touch that fence, it's fatal. So for me, I don't think jail cells and bars. When I think prison, I think electric fences, man. So yeah, man, I hope you learned a little bit some, and you take this lesson away, bro. And yeah, if you guys want to support the channel, the one thing you can do is subscribe below. Just hit the like button. You can share this with somebody. You can even leave a comment, man. I feel like it is my duty, and maybe it should be yours too, that we teach the younger generation to be better than the one that came before them. And I think that's something that we can all do for each other. And it doesn't actually have to be in person. Maybe someone watching this video might watch this and be like, dang, man, T's getting it in. He's 41, he's still getting it in. Like, look at that, bro. 41, come on. We all should do our best to be our best, and I hope that's what you're doing for yourself, man. Yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.